Pandora friends, my name is Leanne and I am mad for Pandora. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Today is a long-awaited video. Wow, who would have thought last year, 2020, would have been so crazy? But not just crazy in the fact that there was a whole big health crisis, but actually crazy in the fact that we had to track down all these charms. Now, as a lot of you do already know, it was the 20th anniversary since the Moments snake chain, and Pandora decided to do one special charm every month. Now, even though you would think that would be pretty straightforward, with all the lockdowns and with especially me moving house and everything like that, actually trying to track down some of these charms were a bit tricky. But I finally got my bracelet the way that I think it will be permanently. Not that everything or anything is definitely permanent with Pandora, but I'm very excited to be finally showing you what I did with all these charms. I decided to turn it into a two-tone bracelet, but it's not on a two-tone bracelet, if you know what I mean. Just has little hints and pops of gold. So Pandora did also give us this beautiful little jewelry box as a momentum, and it was a gift with purchase, but I really love it and I do use it in my videos, as you've seen. But inside here is something very, very special, and I will forever remember 2020, even if it's for a good reason and not necessarily a bad reason, because a lot of these old charms I never picked up when they originally came out. So to have these is really special. Now, as you can see, I have this on just the plain silver heart bracelet. Now, I did have to steal this bracelet off my Christmas design that I had this last year, but I don't know what it is about this bracelet. It must be slightly bigger, but it fits the charms in a lot better. Now, my bracelet's not in order of the months, but I have come up with a really special idea to put all my little certificates. So I might just get started and I'll work my way around the bracelet, and then I'll show you what I came up with to do with the certificates. So the first one we have here is the beautiful safety chain. Now, there's a little 20 there, hopefully you can see it. Now, I do like this safety chain, and I'm kind of wish I could have got two. It is the same as the two-tone one that has been around for forever, so it's a really iconic piece, and it hasn't been retired that long, I wouldn't think, so it kind of was nice that they did it as a silver one. Now, the first one here, I might go this way this time, is the little pig. Now, he's got his little 20 on the back of his head, so that one really stands out. Now, this is not a charm I would normally have bought, but obviously I had to have the whole set because you can't just have one missing one. Well, I can't anyway, I'm sure other people can. But he's kind of cute. Now, the first addition that I've added that's not part of the 2020 collection is actually one I picked up pre-loved, and this is called the Hatched Heart. Now, it's pretty cool. It's got a really, really cool design. And I should tell you though that the little piggy is the July one, and he was number 7 in the collection. Okay, the next one here we have is the November one. And this one here is really pretty. It's definitely one that I think if you had got 2, it would have been good, because it's a very unique sort of shape and could have done a lot with it if you had 2. And it's just called Barrel Stars, and it's not threaded, which is surprising because the original one was actually threaded, even though it's technically an open wax charm. So I found that very interesting. I couldn't put it on the end of the bracelet or it would have slipped straight off. But it's pretty cool. Now the next one I have added to my bracelet is a very, very old Mother's Day limited edition charm. And it's just the teddy bear charm, and he has a huge big gold puffy heart. I'm not sure if I've told you the story about this before, but I picked this one up really cheap. Like, it was like $20 or $30, and it was so dark and oxidized, but I just cleaned him up and gave him a good polish, and he's perfectly fine. He's very cute, but I thought he fitted on really well here. Now the next one I have here is the heart, and this one's for April, so it's number 4 in the collection. And my husband was lovely enough to sign up as a member as well, so he can buy me sneaky presents, but he got me a second one. So that's pretty cool, because this is another one of those charms that are very hard to balance. So I love that I have 2, and that's why I went with this clasp, because I think it really balances it quite well. Now in Australia we were very fortunate. We were actually allowed to get 2 of the clips. I know some people overseas couldn't, which, yeah, that would have been a bit disappointing, because you sort of need 2 clips if you're going to put them on the clip stations. If you're just going to put it at the end of your bracelet, you probably don't. You could treat it like a charm. But I really like these clips, and they're the same as the solid gold ones that are even out still now. I haven't compared the size though, so these might be a little bit chunkier. So I have 2 of those. And the heart clip was for September. It was number 9 in the collection. This next one I've got, I actually do have 2 of these because my husband bought me one as well. And we didn't have, like, the charms that came out at the end didn't have restrictions on how many you could buy, and there was always heaps left over. So I don't feel bad having 2 of these, but like if I had 2 strawberries, I'd be like, I've already wanted those first 3. They were so hard to get. But this one here is the 2-tone Clover, and I don't have the original Clover. So this has got the 20 on it, and this is actually really pretty. But the Clover was for May. And this one here is a beautiful little froggy. And he's just so cute. Like I said, the first 3 were almost impossible to get. And I never had the original frog, but I did like the frog. He's quite cute, and so I'm really happy to have him in my collection. And he was for February, but he's just so cute. Now I ended up buying this pre-loved. This is called the Saturn flower, and I picked it up for a really good price. But I thought this looks like a really good centerpiece on a bracelet, because I like the way that the flowers go down the middle rather than, like, I think if you just had one and it was off to the side somewhere, it wouldn't have the effect of this being the middle of a bracelet. So it's got a lot of gold on it, it really does. It's a beautiful classic old piece. The next one I've got to show you is this little strawberry. Now, as we all know, he probably pulled our hair out and went crazy trying to get this little fella. Basically, I tried to get it online and I couldn't, and I ended up ringing a store about half an hour away from where I was living, and they still had some, and my husband was in the area anyway, so they held it for him for a little while he went and picked it up. And yeah, if I didn't get the strawberry, I don't know that I would have bothered getting any, because it's sort of like the start of the story, and I know there's quite a few people that did miss out, and I know there was a lot of people selling them for a ridiculous amount of money on eBay and other platforms. But yeah, I'm glad to have got this one for sure. And who doesn't love strawberries? It's one of the first charms, it might have been the first charm Pandora ever made. So that was #1 for January. And this one here, I don't have the original one of this one either, and it's the Swirl, and it's for October. It's got the 20 there. This one's also really pretty, and I love the way it balances the Clover, even though it's slightly smaller. Of course, then we have the other clip. That's September, and then we have the second one of the heart, which is April. And then this is one of my absolute favorites. It took me ages, but I did end up getting the original I Love You cube, and I love it. I have it on my Me and Hubby bracelet, and it's definitely one of my favorites. I know they tried to recreate the I Love You cube a couple of years ago, but it just was not the same. But I do love this one. It's slightly bigger than the original one, and it is beautiful. It really is. So very happy to have this one. And this one was for August. And then of course we have the little queen bee. Now the original one had the gold on the top, but I must say that it's not the gold that I'm mind whether they had it or not. I love the way they've actually done a different sort of top on the crown. They've put little balls on it so it doesn't catch on everything or scratch you or anything. The original bee, the little gold things could be quite sharp, and it's not one of my favorite charms as far as the original goes, but I do have one, and I really like that they put the little beaded detail on the top to stop that scratching. So this one here was March, and #3 in the collection. That's very cute. And this one here is just another old beautiful two-tone piece that I had, and this is 3 petal Tivoli, hopefully I said that right, flower. And yeah, it's absolutely beautiful flower. Love the detail of it. And then of course we have this little one. Now this again is one that I managed to get 2 of. Now it was pretty easy to get, there was plenty of them. But this, out of all the charms, I guess, in this collection means the most because, and the reason I wanted two is because I wanted to put one on my me and hubby bracelet because we started building our house and planning it and sold our old house all in 2020. So it sort of means a lot to me. And it's a really nice way to finish off the year. So I hope you really like my bracelet. It took me ages to sort of come up with how I wanted to do it, but I was inspired by a few people. It was Riri Baby that sort of said, you know, offered a bit of a challenge. I'm pretty sure it was you, Riri, that wanted people to come up with their designs, and it's taken me a long time to actually show you. It's been sitting in my little pink box for a while now, but I wanted to make sure it was just right. I have a habit that I put things together, I show you guys, and then I change them a little bit, so I didn't want to do that. But I tried to balance out, if you can see, the B, how it's high, with the bear. And this one had the gold, whereas the bear had the gold. So that was my sort of way of thinking for this. I try and make sure there's plenty of textures and highs and lows when I do my bracelets. Anyway, that's the bracelet. And then I wanted to show you what I did with all my certificates. Now in Australia, we were actually fortunate enough to get all our certificates were exactly the same. And I know there was a lot of disappointment when some people didn't get certificates, some people went to the store, the certificates were too big, like they were bigger than normal, or they were different, or they were cards that had to be signed off on. And in Australia we didn't have any of those problems, so I'm really grateful for that. So I did get this little, it's just a little photo book. It was like $2, but I wanted to sort of keep them all in one place and keep them safe. So I did come up with this little book. I might zoom out a little bit, hold on a sec. So this is the first one, this is a strawberry. And this is the certificate of authenticity. And they all were supposed to come with one. It's sort of how you knew whether you were getting a legit one or a fake, or, you know, things weren't quite right. And so obviously these little pieces of paper are important. Hopefully there's not too much glare on the screen. So this was number 1. And it's pretty cool how you can see through the certificate on the other side. I didn't want to double them up, I wanted to put them all on individual pages. So then we had the frog. And then we had the bee. And then we had the heart. The clover. I noticed too, some people didn't have coloured two-tone pieces on their little certificates. It's just, it is really weird how Pandora does do different things in different countries. Safety chain. Little piggy. The little two-tone I love you cube. Now, if I've got more than one of them, I've put the certificate in behind it, so I've kept them all in the same spot. Swirl, stars, and the little house. Yeah, so that was it. So I did have plenty of room left in the book, but obviously I didn't fill it. But no, I'm just really glad to be able to finally show this to you. So I know I was sort of a bit hit and miss with showing them at the start. I was there straight away with the strawberry unboxing from the store, and I got to show a few, and I was putting it on my black lanyard and I think I put it on my watch at one stage. But in the end, sort of the collection grew so big it needed its own bracelet. So really happy to be able to put it on one of the Moments bracelets because it's very fitting, being the 20th anniversary. And I do hope you liked it. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. And yeah, I hope you're having a great week. Stay safe, and until next time, take care.